All right, friends, I'm here once more, and I'm so sorry about these technical issues. It was bound to happen given, I suppose, my relationship to technology, and I'm hoping I can get everybody over to this one more room. Please, please do come over. I'm missing you, and I have several more poems and a piece of prose to read. Hoping I can get some questions, hoping I can get some presents. I'm missing you. I'm so sorry, everyone. Now I have myself in another window and this. Oh, great. Thank you, Karen, for letting me know. Fingers crossed it holds up. All right. So what I was saying in the last video, now that we collected all, is that the poems in the marriages, they're based on mythology, they're based on current events, and the tree that I just read before the video got wild was based on a news story in Florida, wherein a woman married a 100-year-old tree so that she could prevent it from being cut down. This next one I'm going to do is based on Celtic mythology, and of course all these are variations. It's called the Selkie. Sometimes when you're sleeping, so deeply the walls breathe with you, I slip on your skin, rich oil at my hips and shoulders, and it does nothing to my flesh. Not even when I'm staring straight from window to ocean, not even when I'm watching the slick heads bob in and out of whitecaps looking for you, not even then. Sometimes when your breath fills the air in our home with salt, I put your skin on so far from our bed that you don't see me. So far I know you'll never find it. So far I know you'll never leave me. Not even if you dive naked into the water gleaming like I never see you anymore. Not even if you called out to your sisters, they wouldn't recognize you even then. Sometimes I say I'm leaving town, wishing, and I spend whole nights wrapped in your skin, wishing it would change me slick and smooth, wishing I could slide thick satin into water beside you and wet my teeth with your joy. Thank you. This poem is a second piece, there's a second strand within my book in progress, The Marriages, and it's a series of poems that are all called Once on a Ghost Ship. So this poem, amazingly enough, is called Once on a Ghost Ship. It was just like that time on the train, but saltier. Her curls fanned easily where my thigh met upholstery, all of her under my lip. Also, it went on for weeks, then weeks. Everything was wood and leather here, meant to be hardy in sea air. She told me everything she knew about beaches, and she could have been insulting me or adoring me, the way the vowels spread the length of her tongue. She whispered into our cold, clear dark, "You love me? You love me?" And I answered with stars, stars by the thousands, like salt where we folded. Last poem, and then I will move into prose. This is The Remains. I married your fingers twice, 3 times, 4 times, until I could have been shaped entirely by your palms. I bound myself to tailored trousers hanging from your hairpin hips. I held the footprints along trails where you'd had to hide every piece of property, under roof and snow. I married you and married you and married you. Kitten, heartbeat, jaguar. How could it possibly ever have stopped when you were gone, and gone, and gone, and gone? I married you and married you and married you, and then I looked for you, scouring street corners, the bomb shelter door, the train station, the faded scrubland camps ravaged with barbed wire. I embraced you eternally already. Jaguar, coffee on my tongue. And I looked for you, even though you were everywhere, you were only real in the dark, under bombs, immaterial under streetlight, streaked stillness, and still I married you, even when I lined my throat with pills like bathroom tile. even when I married him. You were iridescent in wallpaper, the crook of my thigh. Sweet jaguar, mine. I was yours forever on snow-damp train tracks to the black forest between camps, and with knees on black ash-turned earth, I tried to explain it all to bones, tangled with other bones under roots and snow and snow. So many other bones. What made me think yours could even hear me? Thank you. So forgive me that we are running behind. The internet is the internet. I am going to read some prose now. It is an excerpt from my novel, Watch You Disappear. This is near the end of part 1, where Maya, our protagonist, her sister Mandy has run away, and her sister Alexis's boyfriend's family is staying with the family while her father goes to get Mandy. And I'm told there is an extreme time delay in the comments, so if you have any questions for me, you can totally start thinking about them now. And if you want to type them in, I will come to them and answer when this part is done. Thank you all so much. I'm really happy to be here, and I'm so sorry about the tech issues. They just got in the car, I relay to Alexis, Gabriel, and Mr. and Mrs. Thomas. Dad says 45 minutes. They all nod. They've presumably received similar texts. Gabriel squeezes Alexis's hand, and I am suddenly and unaccountably furious at both of them. Why did they get to be together during all this? Why isn't my girlfriend here? Will you be home for the summer, Maya? Mrs. Thomas asks. She's as stiff as she always is, but I appreciate her being here, the effort she's making to keep the conversation moving. I wonder if she saw me looking at Alexis and Gabriel. Yes, I say. I'll be working at the front desk at Jersey Fitness in New Brunswick. Oh, terrific, says Mrs. Thomas. That sounds like a good steady job. I'm glad for you. And are you done with school? I still have 3 finals. I just came down to, you know. Well, the important thing is that Mandy's coming home, Mrs. Thomas says firmly. After midnight, the police were able to consider Mandy a missing person, the subject of an Amber Alert, and when Dad explained the possibility of Devon, they put out an APB for bus and train routes. Bus seemed more likely to all of us, but they needed to be as thorough as they could, between here and Vancouver. It took about 7 hours after that, but Mandy was apprehended. The detective Dad was talking to actually used that word, apprehended, by transit police in the bus station in Minneapolis. They'd called Dad, who of course hadn't been sleeping at all, and he got on a flight 3 hours later, maxing out his credit card to get tickets back for Mandy and himself this morning. The Thomases, who had called repeatedly asking what they could do, had offered to stay the night with me and Alexis. Part of me wanted to be upset about it, but after my display yesterday, I could understand that Dad wanted a real adult in the house. Because I'm not sure what else to do, I get up and walk into the kitchen. I bet Dad hasn't eaten, and it would have been just like Mandy to plan everything perfectly and then forget to budget for food. We don't have a ton in the refrigerator, but there's enough for some sandwiches, leftover chicken and tomatoes and mustard and lettuce. I grab the bread from the bread box and shove a few slices in the toaster. Mrs. Thomas joins me. Can I help? She asks. Sure, I say after a second. If you want to slice up the chicken, that would be great. Where are the knives? I point to the magnetic strip above the toaster. Wordlessly, she grabs one, goes to the refrigerator, and finds the plastic container with the chicken breasts in it. I pass her a cutting board, take down the second one, and start slicing the tomatoes. We work that way for a little while, attuned to the ding of the toaster and the soothing rhythm of mustard and mayo scraping onto toast. I get down a big plate and we stack the sandwiches on them, one by one. Then we both turn and look into the living room. Mr. Thomas is reading something on his phone, and Gabriel is whispering to Alexis. You're doing a good job, you know, Mrs. Thomas says. What? With Alexis and your father, for your whole family, you're doing a good job. Thanks, I say, running my hand through my hair. I'm very impressed with your maturity. It can't have been easy growing up without a mother. I shrug. I kind of hate it when people say that. I don't know if it was easy or not. Nobody has any life but the one they actually have. I don't know what it would have been like if she were there, if Devon were there. We enjoy Alexis, Mrs. Thomas says, and we're glad that she has someone like you, a sister like you, taking care of her. And that Mandy will be all right. She might not be, I think. This could be the beginning of a messed up adolescence, hard drugs and sex with dozens of boys and all the other things I never got into. Or maybe she'll become a fundamentalist Mormon. Maybe she'll try to run away again and again until she ends up in Canada for real, somewhere none of us can reach her. The terror of my sister's future opens up to me suddenly. I wonder if this is what it feels like to be Dad, what it has felt like since Mom and Devin were gone. Mandy was really smart, or at least sneaky about everything, really tried to keep us from finding out. She hadn't bought any tickets in advance or online and had used cash for everything, from her babysitting money and birthday bond from Aunt Tina, rather than taking Dad's credit card or anything else that would be traceable. She'd turned off her phone. Even without a passport, she couldn't have crossed the border into Canada without adult consent. Dad has told us multiple times that the detective said this, but she got impressively far. There's a part of me that wants to be proud of her. My phone buzzes, and I take it out of my pocket, Belinda wanting to know if everything is okay. I haven't updated her in almost 12 hours, since I collapsed into sleep after Dad got on the flight west, and so I hastened to let her know what's going on. Sorry, I say to Mrs. Thomas, realizing belatedly that some adults probably think what I'm doing is rude. Oh, it's all right, Maya, don't worry about it. I realize I haven't heard from Katie in almost that long. Her last text said, "How can you hate me so much?" It's a relief not to have to deal with the barrage. Once I've seen Mandy, once I know that she's okay, I'll go back to school and finish my finals. The 3 professors I managed to email said I could have extensions, which was a relief, and make up with Katie. I don't know how yet, because I'm still angry, even though I know it isn't fair to be. Katie's been through so much, I can understand why she thinks things that sometimes don't make sense. But she should have driven me here. That's what a good girlfriend would do. I'll help her understand that, make her understand that, and then I'll spend the night in her bed again with her wrapped around me. I need that so badly right now, just to feel warm and loved and safe. Mrs. Thomas and I put the plate of sandwiches out on the kitchen table, and Gabriel, Alexis, and Mr. Thomas come over to eat. We're barely saying anything because there doesn't seem to be much to say, so when we hear the car pull into the driveway, all of our heads turn towards the door at once. Mandy walks in just one step ahead of Dad, who has his right hand on her shoulder and is carrying her dirty blue backpack in his left. Her hair is in a low, messy ponytail, and she's wearing a green hoodie, a black tank top, and a pair of carpenter jeans. She looks so young that it makes me sick to think of her on the bus alone, and makes me want to punch her for putting herself in that position. Like Alexis, she knows what could have happened because I only talked about it a million times when we were kids. Mandy doesn't look at us, but we look at her, and nobody speaks. So then the Thomases leave. When the door closes, we're all silent for another second. Then I go over to Mandy, not sure until I reach her whether I'm going to hit her or hug her. I do the latter. She puts her head on my shoulder for a second, and then pulls back and looks at me. Then at Alexis and Dad. I feel my phone buzz in my pocket, ringing, and I ignore it. I'm sorry, Mandy says quietly and unconvincingly. That does it for Alexis. Fuck you, she screams. Fuck you. She throws the half-eaten sandwich that she was still holding at Mandy and runs upstairs. Mandy starts to go after her, then stops, looking at Dad and me. You take care of this, kid, says Dad. I nod my agreement. My phone buzzes again, another call. Mandy sighs and goes up the stairs after Alexis. How was it? I say to Dad uncertainly. What do you want me to say, Maya? It was shitty. It was really shitty, but she's okay. He sits down at the kitchen table and takes a sandwich, which makes me glad that I made them. He bites it without really looking at it and continues talking with his mouth full. The way those cops were looking at me, you know what they were thinking, the kind of questions they asked her. A 14-year-old kid doesn't just run away. What did she tell you about what happened? Nothing. It was the worst plane flight of my life, worse than going to Salt Lake. It was like talking to a goddamn rock. I don't know her. I don't know my kid. He looks up at me, still chewing. How did you turn out okay? You turned out okay. Or, I don't know. Maybe you didn't even turn out yet. My phone rings once more, the vibration shaking my pocket. I take it out and look at it. I don't recognize the number, but they'll never leave me alone if I don't pick it up. Dad, I'm really sorry, I say. 1 second. I'm going to stop there. Thank you all so much. And I'm sorry we're running a bit late, but if you have any questions for me, I would love to answer them. and you can start typing them in right now, right there. So I will happily look at them. That's exciting. Anybody there? Thank you all for coming. I'm told there's an epic comment delay, so I will let you know that. Anna said I could fill time with conversations about my dog, and my dog has been shuffling around here the whole reading, and I think she finally decided to settle down for a moment and curl up in a corner somewhere. So I'm hoping that we get her back in the area soon and I can introduce you all to her. But if not, then I will leave it be. Are there comments? Are there questions here? I'm not seeing any. Hi, Tom. And hold on. I think one is loading. Oh, right, an SFW. I should have done that. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of comments here that I couldn't see at all. Okay, now I'm going to do them. Michael, any progress on my version of the musical ones that takes place on a ghost ship? No, not yet. I'm hoping I will come up with some soon. Valerie, how do I find time to write when I'm in school? Oh, good Lord. The truth is I'm still figuring it out. When I was freelancing, I had a very regular schedule with very regular writing days, and grad school is this just like amazing exemplar of mission creep, and so it keeps taking up my time and keeps taking up my space. And this semester I have finally, I think, found a way to say this is my day about non-school writing, but it involves streamlining my schedule a lot more, which school doesn't always allow for. And frankly, it occasionally involves being dissatisfied with what I do for school, if I want to get something done. And it frequently involves being dissatisfied with what I do for my writing, but for my non-school writing. And then there are ways I'm trying to bring the two together. I wrote a paper that was about poetry as a critical methodology for things that exist in a historical lacuna. So that was fun. That was an interesting argument to make. Melissa, how do I get to know my characters? How do they reveal themselves to me? Oh man. Maya, she really just showed up. I'm still not clear on how. I think that there exists this triangle of plot, character, and theme, and for anybody who writes narrative work, they're bringing two together and trying to work towards the third. So I'm definitely somebody who finds character and theme and works to find a plot, and frankly, this novel is the first thing I've ever written as a plot. So really, I wanted to write about the ambiguities of the idea of rescue. I wanted to write about obsession. I wanted to write about trauma begetting trauma, abusers sort of, the abused sort of becoming the abusers, which is a thing that happens at other points in the book. So that was where my focus was. And really, mostly they reveal themselves to me through dialogue. Really, mostly I hear. I think there are people who see. I think there are people who can picture what's going on. I am not those people. I can hear it. Is there going to be an audiobook of this novel with me reading it, Michael? Oh, good Lord. Let me just get the thing published first, and then I will go to that. Thank you all so much. I would love to do my own audiobook, but it's a sport. My sister used to be an actor, and it takes some training and endurance to make that kind of reading happen. I've been rehearsing like crazy for this, which is one reason my dog's avoiding me. She's heard this all a dozen times. And really, my tip for recitation, if that is what we're looking for, is to be as comfortable as you can with your words. Hey Valerie, this is an audio recording of the poetry. I mean, it's also a video recording, but this is archived. Poets in Pajamas has an archive, which I think is pretty honkin' cool. All right, I think we might be nearing the end of this encounter. And thank you all so much for stopping in. I am very much enjoying this reading, and I have very much enjoyed this conversation, in spite of technical difficulties galore. And I hope everybody has a fabulous night. Thank you so much.